Right, we've got a few things to talk about, haven't we, baby? Yeah. First thing I want to show you is the upper floor and where we've got to. Now, at this point, 2 families ran out of money. So to get to this point, it's cost 220,000 pesos. And they've run out at this point. So this is where we've got. I didn't even think they'd get this far, to be honest. But it's all closed in, look. So when it rains, we're not getting flooded anymore, because the little building that was over the stairs was terrible. Can you remember the typhoon, Mel? We were literally up till early hours of the morning trying to stop the roof from blowing off. It was a nightmare. I want to show you, they are actually doing the 3rd floor, and I just didn't realise, and they've actually started doing it. Now, I'd have thought that they'd concentrated on the 2nd floor, but, you know, that's just me. Right, the other thing I want to comment on is the Christopher video with him begging on the streets in Manila. Now, I've actually phoned the embassy in Manila, and they tell me, yes, under certain circumstances, they will help a foreigner get home. However, they have to be extreme circumstances, and basically they're going to have you jumping through hoops to do it. At the end of the day, they lend you the money, and if you don't pay it back in a certain time as well, they charge you 10% interest. And that keeps going up every month. So you could end up on the streets in the UK. Well, probably not end up on the streets, but you know what I mean. And having a load of debt around your neck. Now, they don't help you with the money you actually owe the Philippine government. Now, the in-between Filipino that I've been in contact with, I've contacted him twice. I've given him my number. I've had Mel speak to him just to make sure he understands the situation, and I've received nothing back. If I can't get in touch with him, then there's not a lot I can do to help him. I just want to reiterate again, there was a blogger, and I'm sure a lot of the people that follow my channel and others know who I'm talking about, was basically wanting people to send him money, which they did, for a plane ticket to get home, and money just to get him through to getting the plane ticket and get home, etc., etc. Long story short, he didn't use that money to get home. He used it to stay in the Philippines, and he's still here, and he's not made any effort to give that money back. Now, there's no way would I put myself in that position with my subscribers, because I'd never be trusted again, even though it was nothing to do with me, because I know how it works. So I just wouldn't do that. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, and this is to Tom, you can message me later about it, Tom, if you've got something else to say. Oh no, you can't, can you, because you're blocked. I've had some messages that I have to start and be careful what I say and not badmouth the Filipinos, referring to the advice I was given about websites and this, that and the other. I don't know, well I do, because it's the trolls mainly. It doesn't matter what I say, they'll twist it and make it sound like I've said something else. I love the Philippines and I love its people, and I've probably got loads of bad stories to tell you, but I don't want to do negative videos similar to what I'm perhaps doing now, where I've got to say things that aren't particularly exciting and people don't really want to hear. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that all the girls and men, because there is stories about foreigners as well, it's not just the Filipinos. I'm not saying all girls are on these sites for money. All I'm saying is, If you're going to meet a girl on a dating site and you don't actually come to meet her, or you just come to meet her for a holiday, which coming to the Philippines on holiday is a lot different to staying here, let me tell you. It's a lot different. Now, a lot of these scammers, the families are in on it as well. So that's why I'm saying, get to know the family. Come and get to know the family. Get to know the family and you'll get a gut feeling very quickly about the situation. Now that's all I'm saying. You know, there's some really good Filipinos, lovely Filipinos. You know, good hearts, would feed you and look after, you know, that goes without saying. But unfortunately, there's a lot of sensitive people out there, and sometimes I have to say negative things, you know. It's not all a bed of roses here. And like I've said before, this is the last place in the world you want to be as a foreigner with no money. It will turn into a nightmare very quickly. And yes, you have to have a plan B. So if things go wrong, you can leave the Philippines and go home. And that's what I have. I'll never ever ask my subscribers to help me get the money together for a plane ticket to get home. That just wouldn't happen. So now I've got that one out the way. I'm sorry, but I have to get these out the way. The other thing is my car. Now, Mel advised me against putting it on my channel because of the trolls, because of just nosy people wanting to know my business, our business, etc. But it didn't work, did it? Even though I suspended comments on the channel, they find other ways to they use my email, they use other videos I've done to drop the comments. Obviously I delete them, they never get on the channel. But it does tend to get to me because they start making accusations and this, that and the other. Now, without going into too much more detail, I'm going to tell you the reason why we're selling the car. Now, we borrowed the majority of the money to buy that vehicle because you know my situation, we haven't got that kind of money to spend, so we borrowed it from a family member. Now, long story short, that family member needs the money back. Now, I can hear a lot of you saying, well, that's tough then, isn't it? You made an arrangement, but I'm not like that. And what you have to learn about the Philippines is you don't upset family. For whatever reason, you just don't upset them because you as a foreigner are going to end up regretting it. So again, long story short, we want to sell the car to make things right and give them the money back, or it might just end up with giving them the car, whatever, but they need the money. So that's the only reason we're selling the car. We'd really love to keep the car, wouldn't we, babe? Yeah. The car is beautiful. The car is mint. But unfortunately, we can't do it. We'd love to keep it, but we can't do it. The other thing is, in the Philippines, if you buy a motorcycle, you can go and buy it. As long as you have the registration documents, you're fine. There's never a big deal on who owns the bike, whatever. You don't need a bill of sale, you don't need anything. It's lovely if you can get one, but you don't actually need a bill of sale, right? It's better if you have one, but you don't need it. Now, a car is a totally different story. If you get a car, you have to have the documents signed and sorted by a solicitor. The solicitor has to change the ownership of the car over to you, and the documents have to be in your name for you to sell that car again. If they're not, for example, if you go to buy a car from a foreigner or a Filipina, and them document, I'm not on about the registration documents because they're different documents. It's the title of ownership, isn't it, babe? If the title of ownership is not in your name, that car is not yours. Deed of sale, it belongs to still belongs to the person you've just paid the money over to. You have to have a solicitor that has that changes the papers over into your name, which I have. The title documents are in my name. Now, people that's followed me by now should know that I do things how they should be done. So that's all sorted out. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that is, you know, where you got the money from for that. You're a con man. You're this. You're that. It's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. These people who think they know me and who think they're allowed to know our business. That's why I've stopped mentioning anything financial on my channel, because straight away I'm asking for money, I'm asking for the, I can't even give any financial details because people assume I'm asking for money, and I never have. Show me a video where I've literally asked for money. The only thing I've ever done is ask you to help us on Patreon with maybe $1 a month. You know, that's all I've ever asked, and it's no different to any other blogging channel, or maybe, you know, we're different. We're not allowed. I don't know, but that's the only thing we've done. So I'm sorry if this has turned out all negative. We didn't want to do it, but you know, you don't see the amount of messages we get on a daily basis. No matter what video I do, my words are twisted, and I'm this, that. I'm not going to say some of the things because it's just too disgusting. But you know, there comes a point where enough's enough. You know, it's nobody's business why we're selling the car, but isn't it a bad state of affairs when I've got to come on video and explain to these people where we've got money from, but people think for some reason that they think they know us, and they think they have a right to know all our financial details, where we're getting money from, how we're paying for this, how we're paying for that. Oh, you've got a new blender. How did you afford to buy that? Where did you get the money from? Trust me, I know you think I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. Anything if I do a video of our house and see something different, they want to know where we've got it from, don't they, babe? Yeah. They want to know where we've got the money, honestly. And it just gets a bit too much. Now, I'm sorry for the rant, and that's it. Now, Mel can't follow me because I won't let her climb these ladders, but I just want you to have a look on the roof. Yeah, I'm all right, babe. Just want you to have a look on the roof, what they're doing up here, and how the ooh, good, I nearly went. That's why I didn't want Mel to come up. So obviously this isn't an afterthought, what they do for the pillars. Do you know what, I'd love to see how far they've gone down with the foundations, because what I've seen is a lot of these buildings, they don't really go down very far with the foundations, and you think they're going to build a single story, but it ends up as a double story, and then it ends up as a 3-story, and you think, my God, you know, there's going to be some substance with it. But there's building work going on all round here at the minute. Over there, that's a brand new property over there. Another brand new property. There's more land for sale over there. I think it's like 2,300 a square metre, something like that. So it's not as cheap as what the other land was I was talking about. But that's like agricultural land, isn't it? So it's always cheaper if you go out in the provinces than what it is if you get near a big town or city, whatever. But get out there and it's lovely. It's really fields. Look, you can see all the fields and mountains. So I've had a few comments, well, more than a few. I don't understand them. they must just sit there and, you know, think of bad things to say. I don't even know why they bother looking at the Philippines, because, you know, the other thing is, if and I've said this before, if you come to see a Filipino that's online or wherever it is you've seen her, whether she's working abroad or whatever, and you come to the Philippines, the chances are she's going to live somewhere like this or worse, right? Now that isn't pulling them down, that is just fact, you know. That is these are the kind of places. Now if your attitude is you're better than them and you couldn't live in a place like that, don't come to the Philippines. Or if you're going to come to the Philippines, come to the Philippines with loads of money so you can buy land, put it in your girlfriend or wife's name, and build a house and hopefully live happily ever after. Build it to Western standard. Yeah, I don't care where I live. No, that's not true. I couldn't live in one of them little Nipa huts with no electric and aircon and a fan, that kind of thing. But I love the Philippines. I love the people. I'm just so happy here. You know, I couldn't even contemplate going back to the UK. You know, unless they force me to leave, there's no way would I even contemplate going back to the UK. Unless, of course, my wife decided she didn't want me anymore, then probably I'd have no choice. But even then, I think I'd try to stay here, even if that happened. You've got to be in the mindset to want to live here, because it's not like coming here on holiday. It's a totally different thing to live here than what it is to come and, you know, go to somewhere like Cebu and be on the beach and have your drinks and talk to other foreigners and this, that and the other. You know, you come here and after a while, if you haven't got a hobby, if you haven't got something takes up the day, you're going to go crazy. You know, because you can only go to the beach so many times, you can only go into the malls so many times. You've got to be happy with your lot. I've said this before, if you've got personality problems in the UK or the America, wherever it is you live, and you come to the Philippines, you're just going to bring them problems with you here. It's not a panacea that's going to make you happy. You know, if you're not happy already, and I mean that, I mean obviously we come over here because to a certain extent we're not happy, but you know what I mean. If you're one of these people that's miserable all the time, then at some point you're going to be miserable again, and that's what you have to take on board. But if you're like me and you come over here and you meet the right person, you're going to be as happy as a fly on Dewberry. You really are, because I can't believe how lucky I've been to meet Mel, to have such a good family. I mean, the UKIM family, I've said this before, is massive. I've been so lucky, and honestly I count my blessings every day. I really do. You know, I get so many messages, why do I want to live in a slum? I mean, these people, I hope they're never thinking of coming over to the Philippines, because they wouldn't last here 2 minutes if that's the mindset. The Filipino people, you know what, I take some of these over people from the West, because these people have got such strong personalities and such kind hearts, and the family values, it's what we used to have in the 50s, you know. We used to have that closeness, we used to have what they have now, and I hope they never lose it. I hope all this internet and whatever doesn't kill it, because they've got more than gold. They are rich. They don't realise how rich they are, because it doesn't matter how poor the family is, you don't see them walking around miserable. You know, they've all got smiles on their faces. The kids are so happy. It's It's an amazing place if you have the right attitude, if you have the right frame of mind. It's an amazing place to live and retire and live out the rest of your life without stress. Unless, of course, you bring that stress with you. You know what I mean? If you've not got enough money to live here, then obviously that's going to cause you stress, because there's lots of unexpected things that can happen and where you need extra money, and if you're on a budget and you haven't got that extra money, then you're going to be struggling. So anyway, that's my little rabbit, and I hope you understand why I've made the video and why I had to say the things I had to say. I'm sure a lot of you are going to say, no, you didn't have to do that. No, I didn't have to do it, but if you saw the messages I've had to delete and the people I've had to block simply because I want to sell a car, I mean, my God, you know. So anyway, I'm going to stop. I'm keep going on and on, aren't I? So that's it till the next video, and the next video I guarantee you will be a happy one. So until then, bye.
You want happy ending? $50.
Okay.
Happy ending! Oh, you happy now?
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way, yeah. Birds chirping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming.